Hi, welcome back. I'm glad you returned. We're going to check out different ways to use Google Classroom. So today, one of the things I really want to focus on is using Google Classroom to manage individualized learning that happens in our classrooms. So sometimes you might be working with a group of students and you have other students that are doing some independent work. So one of the ways I have found that has been very useful for managing independent learning is using Google Classroom with to-do lists for my students. So today I'm going to look at creating an assignment of a to-do list for a student, and that way this student knows exactly the things they have to get done in a certain period of time while they're not working individually with me, so they know exactly what to get done. So the first I'm going to demonstrate setting up a to-do list and show how that might be helpful to a student. So we start by creating an assignment. Alright, so for my student, I'm going to create an assignment. And so here it says all students. For my demo class, I actually don't have students, but if you do drop this down, you'll have the option to collect all students and also individual students in your classroom. So if you're doing a to-do list that is specific to one child, you would click the child's name. Alright, and if it's specific to 3 or 4 kids, you can select the kids that the to-do list would work for. Or maybe if it's something you want all of your students to have access to, that everyone is supposed to do, you would click all students. And so for this, I'm going to write independent math. Okay, so that's my student's going to be independent math. And if this were set up as a classroom, I might have math as a topic, so I might choose a topic for it. And let's say they have till the end of the week to get it done, so they'll have till next Friday. Maybe it's a week long, maybe I'll do it daily, and then I would would not quite click assign yet, because I'm going to want to go ahead and add a document. Okay, so before I do that, I'm going to come up here to a new tab to show how you might create a document. So I'm going to go to docs.google.com. Okay, and that'll give me the option to create a new document. And so I would click blank document and start working on my student's to-do list. So I already have it started. So I started a document and I named it Math Student A. So you might put the student's name on it. So I created an independent work list for the week of May 1st. So I listed each assignment for the student. So first, the student needs to complete his workbook pages. I'm going to attach a PDF to assignment. That's something I would have shown my students how to do ahead of time. So that would be like prior knowledge for them. Otherwise, you may just leave it as complete workbook pages and then you'll get the physical pages. I just like it this way so that my students, I can have access to that without actually having to carry home a whole list of work. I'd have their work right there for me to look at and comment on. So the next one that this student has to do is to work on MobyMac Fact Fluency for 15 minutes. Notice it's linked here. One of the things I like about creating a to-do list for my students is that I can link them to whatever I want them to go do. So for instance, this student doesn't need to worry about typing in MobyMax or finding the link. They can just simply click the link right there in the to-do list and it'll take them right where they need to go. Alright, and the same thing goes for the next one. So they're going to play a game on our curriculum website. So they're going to play Collect Dollar on the Pearson website. So they're just going to click there and it's going to take them right there. Next, I have a worksheet I want them to complete, which I can do a couple different ways. I've attached it right there. So they could click on it that way. Or I could go back into my assignment. So I'm going to go back to demo class. And this is where I can actually add a document. So click right there and add document. I can go to my drive. And it's going to show me the assignment. So there's the to-do list, which I'm certainly going to attach. So we'll do that. We'll add the to-do list so that my student has their to-do list of what they need to get done. And then I'm also going to add that assignment, that worksheet. I'm going to add that as well. And so my student will have what they need right there. And I'm going to I'm going to keep it so the student can only, I'm going to change this one. Actually, excuse me, I'm going to keep this one so the student can view that file. They cannot edit it. And this one, however, I'm going to actually make it so that student can edit because I made it specific to student A. Should I be giving this assignment to all students? I would actually click make a copy for each student, but whereas I do this in independent checklist, I would make it so that student can edit that file. Okay, and once they have everything uploaded that they may need, there may be several things here if you have lots of things on the to-do list that require a document. Otherwise, there may just simply be a to-do list. All right, and then you click assign. All right, so that student will use their to-do list, and they will know exactly what to do. And if I'm working with a group, they don't have to come ask me what to do next. I don't have to write it completely out on the board. Especially with independent learning, you're going to find that students are going to be doing different things. All right, and this is another good way for you to keep evidence of what they've completed. So if you have it right there on your computer, and they've attached it, or they've completed worksheets online, you're going to have access to that and not have to take home a boatload of papers. So to-do lists I find to be really helpful for my students in that independent time. They know exactly what to do next. I link it to everywhere they need to go so they don't have to worry about having to find websites or type them in, especially as my little second graders, they're not really ready for typing in long long website pages as they just begin to learn to type. So these links are really, really helpful for them. And that's one of the things I really like about to-do lists. So that's one way that you can use Google Classroom to manage that independent learning in the classroom, is by having individualized assignments. Is what this is. This was an assignment I would have assigned to a certain child or a group of kids that are working on the same thing. So I hope that gave you a good idea for how you could use Google Classroom with your kids. And thanks for stopping by. Check out for other ideas later.